So it should not be of any surprise to you guys that the smooth, powerful, quiet Goldwing was not made in Japan. It was made right here in America. Cue the intro. So this right here is the 4th generation Honda Goldwing, and it was actually made in Marysville, Ohio, along with all the other 1st gen, 2nd gen, 3rd gen, 4th gen, and part of the 5th gen. They ran this Goldwing, this generation, from 1987 to 2000. 13 years of the same bike. Now they were making small and mild variations, and they came with the Aspen K and then the SE version. But it was the same model, same generation. For 13 years, that's incredible. That's longer than any of the previous generations ever last combined. So the Gen 4 Goldwing rocks a 1500cc. Now this is the 1st generation of the Boxer 6, before they were doing a Boxer 4. And this just continued making the bike smoother and more powerful. Weighing in about 800 pounds, this thing's pushing out about 100 horsepower, which for 1987, it was just unheard of. It was an insane amount of power. And even for today, it's still a great powerful bike. I think it tops out at around 117. Maybe we'll take it to a close course and see what we can do. Now the Goldwing really kind of innovated a lot of things and kind of changed the way we view motorcycles. But one of the biggest things that they did, they started in this generation. And it really kind of changed motorcycling forever, especially big touring bikes forever. And that's with this, the reverse. So what you do is, you pull this lever over here, and now all you do is you press the reverse button, because that's going to reverse the polarity of the starter. And it makes backing up hills, backing up out of parking spaces, just backing up in general with you and your 800-pound bike and the girl in the back possible. And then when you want to go forward again, you just pull that lever back down, pop the bike back and drive. Adding reverse really opened up a lot more opportunities and possibilities that were kind of concerning people. Of people with shorter legs and older guys. What if I park in a parking spot that's sitting like this and I gotta back up? You just can't do it by yourself. Makes it effortless. Now I know you guys know that the Goldwing is smooth, but maybe you don't know how smooth it really is. That's where the coin test comes in. Now the coin test was the claim that on a Honda Goldwing was so smooth and so balanced that you can put a coin right on the head of the motor and it'll just sit there. Let's try it. Now, the biggest thing you notice when you first hop on a Goldwing, and how this is really different than any other bike out there, or not any other cruiser or touring bike out there, is the way you sit. One of the complaints I hear about the ergonomics of the bike is, people getting from Harleys and jumping on this, is they were expecting to be, sitting like this. But you're right, this is actually more of a sportier bike, so your feet are more underneath you than they are in front of you. Which personally, I feel more comfortable riding this way, especially when you're hitting those corners and really, really getting the bike low, which it's very capable of doing. Now, the biggest complaint that Goldwing riders would say about this bike was, 1, it was getting them too much action. And 2, they can only fit 2 girls on the back of the Goldwing. One sitting side saddle this way, one sitting side saddle this way. Now, what Honda did to try to fix that is they released a service bulletin saying that you can fit a girl sitting here up on the tank facing you, but the problem with that was they were sitting on some of the buttons and you had a hard time working the stereo when you did that. But what it did do, it evenly displaced the weight of the bike again. So what Honda did to help you evenly distribute the weight when you got 2 girls on the back, 1 girl on the front, is they built on an onboard air compressor that you can just press that button there. It tells you what your PSI is on the rear air system, and then you can increase it or decrease it just on the fly as you drive. Now let me make this clear. This is not a married man's bike. I mean, for me, it's not be a good bike for me. I'm a one-woman guy. That's why I put my wife on the back of my GSXR. But if you're single, you're out there, you're looking to start a family, this is the bike. Now, I know what you guys are thinking. You're thinking, Sean, I didn't know that all Goldwings were made in America. And to be honest with you, they're not. In 2009, they shut down the Ohio Maryville production plant. They stopped making Goldwings in America, and now they make them all in Japan, and they import them to America. But does that mean that the last of the American-made Honda Goldwings are just gonna fade away and disappear and it's kind of drive into the night? Absolutely not. We're gonna run the wheels off these things, and then when that happens, we're gonna put new wheels on them and keep on going. It is not uncommon. This thing only has 37,000 miles. It is not uncommon to see one of these 1500 Goldwings, you know, with 150, 200,000, 300,000 miles. You keep on fixing them, you keep them maintained, and keep on driving them. Let's do that exact thing. Let's take it for a test drive. All right, guys, before we do the test drive, let's do the words of wisdom. Proverbs 17:22. A joyful heart is a good medicine, but a broken spirit dries up the bones. That's true. That's true. Let's put on my gloves. Yeah. Let's ride this Goldwing Aspencade. What is an Aspencade? Can anyone fill me in on that? I do, man. I really like riding these bikes. I mean, on big trips, like, this is the bike. The engine in this Goldwing is way bigger than the engine in that stupid Austin Healey. Hate that car. There goes, there's Josh. So, the Boxer 6 is got to be one of the smoothest motors. Now, anytime you go, the more cylinders you get, the smoother the vehicle gets. You know, take it to both extremes. Take a single cylinder dirt bike, you know, what they call a thumper, and then compare that to a V12. The V12 balances itself out. The single cylinder has nothing to balance it out. You are what balances it out. This is a very, it's not a very high revving bike. It only redlines to like 5,500, 5,400 RPMs, but it gets there really quick, and it just has power everywhere. Now, I do feel a little bit of vibration from the front tire. These Goldwings are known for just eating tires. It's a heavy bike. You know, the tire's not going to last very long. It's why a lot of people like to do what they call dark side, the dark side. They have the dark side, the back tire, and they put a big car tire on the back. It'll make a tire last 40, 60,000 miles, which is a long time for a bike tire. So these things are known for eating tires. That front tire just kind of feels a little off. So I would recommend that someone would replace that whenever they got this bike. We're gonna come over here, jump on the highway. Now, when it comes to handling, these bikes are great. These things corner very well. You know, they got the pegs up nice and high. You could drag bag if you wanted to. And even though it is an older bike that's carbureted, and you probably think like, oh man, it always needs work. And no, you put the choke on, you fire it up. These things fire right up. Yeah, maybe every decade you got to get the carbs clean. But if you ride the bike like a Goldwing should be ridden, you're not going to have any problems. They put big batteries in these things. These things crank really hard. Oh, it's got cruise control. Let's try the cruise control. Cruise. Set. No, set. Hold on. On. That's on. There we go. Now let's excel. There we go. Alright. Cruise control. Now oh, see, that's what I'm talking about with that tire. That'll get away from you. You know what? I'm gonna put a new tire on this bike. It's decided. Now sometimes you'll feel a little wobbling like that, and it's actually like the head's it's something in the like the neck bearing. That was tire. Alright, so I'm gonna get that fixed. Whoever's buying this will have a brand new front tire. Let's go take this thing on the highway, and then we're gonna do the 0 to 60. So it's a pretty quick bike. It's also a pretty big bike. We'll see what this thing can do. Man, they kept really good shape of this thing. I mean, normally you see a bike like this and everything is plastic, is faded. There's nothing faded on this bike. When I saw this bike, I was like, I have to buy it. It's a beautiful bike. Everything works on it just as they should. These things are vents to try to vent air from doing stuff. Bring the air in, bring the air out. It's pretty common that you see these on the Goldwings. What they call when you start adding stuff to your bikes, like little vents and little ergonomic things, they call that farkle. And that's because men don't want to use the word accessories because that sounds super feminine. Yeah, so I got some accessories for my motorcycle. Now you get stuff. I got some stuff for my bike. The necessity. You call it accessories? Well, what I'm buying is a necessities. Necessities. All right, let's do the 0 to 60. I'm guessing this thing's gonna be like sub 4.5. This thing's gonna get there pretty quick. Turn cruise off. There. Oh, go back to the video. I was looking at the 65, so I was there like a moment before I said there. Now I had to shift 3 times before I hit 65. Now something interesting about the Goldwing that a lot of guys didn't get, and a lot of guys don't like, but they don't know that they don't like this on paper, they don't like it, is that this is a 5-speed, and they were a 5-speed up until I think 2018. No one really complained about it, but guys who didn't have one were like, well, it's only a 5-speed. When you have that much horsepower, I mean, you know, like the Boss Hosses are 2 speeds, I think. You know, like you don't need tons of gears. This thing will do a top speed of 100, like 115. So it's got plenty of gears. Don't worry about the 5-speed, 6-speed, whatever. I think what they ended up doing was going like a 7-speed. I think the automatic Goldwing's a 7-speed. Someone's gonna correct me on that one. So it's a great bike. This is the perfect touring bike. This is just, I mean, incredibly comfortable. I love that they got this vent. It's not as good as not having a windshield. And then they got tons of different windshield options. You got shorter ones. I've seen windshields that are like, no joke, like 18 inches taller than that. It literally blocks the rain from hitting the guy behind you, like the car behind you. Let me adjust that mirror right there. I think I remember hearing something. It was either the Goldwing or a BMW that these mirrors were off with the same mirrors off of a Honda Civic. I don't know why I'm driving so close to that car. The same mirrors off of a Honda Civic, which that's pretty funny, if that's true. All right, guys. So to wrap up this bike, we're gonna throw a new front tire on it. I'll get Caleb to do that ASAP. This bike's awesome. Tons of fun. It's a beautiful bike. It really is in great shape. It's got low miles for a you know, a 4th gen Goldwing. And you know, if you're looking for a bike that's cheap, that you're trying to do a long trips on, it really is hard to beat. Just the smoothness, you know. Oh, you know what? Something else. Let me go back. Let me backtrack this. Something. Here's a problem that people are saying. There's gonna be a problem with the electric bikes because they make no noise. Now, I do not buy into the whole loud pipes save lives, and you know what? I don't think anyone that rides a Goldwing buys into that because they ride a Goldwing. Goldwings are always quiet. I think so. All right, so people would be like, so there's some people who were like, well, here's the problem with electric bikes, they're too quiet and you're not gonna be able to hear them, and that's gonna be dangerous. Well, Goldwings have been basically silent for the past 3 decades. As far as I know, Goldwing riders are not statistically getting in more accidents than non-Goldwing riders. Maybe that's anecdotal, I don't know. It's something I might want to look into. But if I drove up next to a car, he's not going to hear me. I barely hear me. It's awesome. Love it. Alright guys, that wraps up. Remember, don't forget to subscribe. If you're looking for the baddest motorcycle gloves out there, check these out. And if you're actually looking at renting, so here's another option. You're like, oh, maybe I could rent a bike. Yeah, you could rent a bike. How do you rent a bike? Check out Riders Share. ridersshare.com. And you can actually rent a motorcycle from people for, I don't know, 60, 80 bucks a day. Jump on the website and see what kind of cool bikes are around in your area that you could rent for pretty cheap. So if you either don't have a bike or just want to ride something different, that could be an awesome opportunity for you guys. All right, we'll see you guys later. Remember, it's not what you're riding, but where you're going.